Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Laurel Park for yet another day of action here. 8 races coming your way. Naomi Tucker joined right next to me by our morning light odds maker, handicapper, top handicapper, I should say. Actually, Keith Fusel.
Too kind, too
Keith,
kind.
happy to be back. I hope you guys didn't miss me too much.
Well, we did miss you. We got through it. You know, we were sometimes we were a little bit lost without you, but you know now we've got you back, our guiding force here in Maryland. But yeah, I think everything went well. I don't think we had as good a time maybe up here as you might have had down in Florida. But yeah, tell us maybe obviously the race was good, a great performance. But yeah. Anything you want to share with us from the trip?
A story for me would have been the incredible training performance of Todd Pletcher with Colonel Liam, getting him to a back-to-back Pegasus World Cup turf. And, of course, life is good. Wondering, have we even seen the peak of him yet?
Wow.
Have we even seen his best form yet? Was so dominant in the Pegasus World Cup. Nobody could even get close to him. And I think on the backside, when he was putting so much distance between himself and the field, including last year's Pegasus World Cup winner, Breeders' Cup Classic winner Nick Go, you're just wondering, is he going to keep it up? And life is good. Kept on finding. I spoke with Aradotis Jr. afterwards, and he was just saying, I had so much horse underneath me. I think he started patting him at the 16 pole or something. It's a little bit close in that, but started patting him well before the wire. He just said, there's no way anyone was going to catch me. Yeah. That's how good that horse felt.
One of my buddies sent me the workout reports, I guess, leading into it from the guys down there, and they couldn't speak highly enough about how this horse Life is Good was coming into the race, and the gates broke a little bit, I thought, behind Nixco, but the aggression from the gate and was able to kind of put Nixco in just enough of a spot where he kind of rated back, and it was over. Once he cleared, he took him well off the rail, was able to control things. From a betting standpoint, I really, really needed the 3 to run second.
Stiletto Boy?
Oh, yes,
I actually had him underneath in third. I love that you picked up on him.
That was
he
heartbreaking.
Ran a huge race.
He did, and credit Nick Go, the rider, did a great job of I hate to say, riding for second to a point. Because if he goes after Life is Good early, he's not going to have anything left in the tank. But that's what you have. And, another defeat for me, but a really good performance by Life is Good.
Yeah, and I spoke with Ron Nicoletti this morning, who actually caught up with Joe Rosario right after the race. And Rosario was saying, look, Nick's Go broke like he always did, even though for us it looked a touch sluggish in comparison to the aggressiveness of Life is Good. So what a treat to be there and to witness it. But look, we're back here today. We got quite a few enticing events coming your way. Let's first update you on our live racing schedule. We will be running 12:25 p.m. post Thursday through Sunday. We're back to that later post time as of this week. And of course, tomorrow, Friday, we key around the Stronach 5 sequence, which starts with our last race right here. We go to our friends at Gulfstream Park for race number 8 for leg B. Leg C, that's Santa Anita Park on the west coast. Leg D, back in Florida, race number 9. And we finish things off, as usual, with Golden Gate Fields to round up that strong sequence that continues to deliver week after week, life-changing scores. But I was highlighting, we have some quality action coming your way, including the Sprint Fest, highlighted by that Grade 3 General George, Grade 3 Barbara Fritchie, historic races, and then backed up by the Miraclewood, the White Country, the 3-year-olds events, the John B. Campbell, the Nellie Morse, and that's all coming your way February the 19th. So, look, you don't have to wait long for the continuation of the stakes program.
No, and we might see a few back from this past weekend from our stakes. We'll see. Always like timeline maybe comes back. We shall see. But yeah, racing office, stakes coordinator Marie Kazeko going to have a lot of work to do. Going to have to build these fields up. And what a card is on tap the 19th of February. Make sure you join us, whether you're here live or in Simo Land.
Absolutely, and $900,000 in purses. We will also be racing on President's Day. That is on the Monday, February the 21st. Some holiday racing, so if you're relaxing at home because you have a bit of a break due to the holiday, tune in with us and make a couple of bucks on the ponies. Let's look at the current track conditions. The track has been updated to good. I know we did have some rain this morning. I think we started off as muddy. Speaks volume to the team, making sure that we continue to race on the best surface possible at present.
Absolutely sealed good right now. It's a real kind of a tweener racetrack, so we'll lean with that. I mean, I don't think you could go wrong either way. lingering, some moisture in the area. We're going to have to deal with moisture, I think, in this racetrack for the next few days. So get tied on, maybe look at some of that off-track breeding, as we like to look at. And,
I like the wet figures, right?
Yeah, you look at the wet figures sometimes if you're looking at the racing form, the Thomas and Figs. I know Tim uses those. But, so sometimes something might jump out and move up, definitely, on that off-track. So pay attention. But I think we're going to deal with that moisture for a few days.
Absolutely. Well, let's start with the first race on the card. 5.5 furlongs, a distance made in 16. It's also the first race of that early pick 5 sequence today. I tried to come up with a ticket that I felt captured some of the value, but aside from that, keeping it kind of close with some of the field sizes being a little bit smaller due to a couple of scratches. Race number 1, I go 3 deep. The first-time starter in Bucharest, number 1 on the rail. The 2 chauffeur, even though he's getting his 19th chance,
all right.
I still think if you look at his race two back that he can get it done. And I am the cash man, the number 3, who's coming back after a lengthy layoff. And then race number 2, 1, 2, and 5 for me. Race number 3, that's when I started to kind of tighten it up a bit. I used Just Happy on the rail, as well as the number 6, Daily Planet. I feel Daily Planet is the one to beat in that spot. But look, Queen Cadence, the number 3, if you want to go deeper, I think she's looking very, very solid as well here, going long for the second time. Race 4, the 1 and the 5 for me, share a chip on top as well as artistic reasons. And then race 5, look, that race is wide open after number 1, 5E and 6, Fearless Lassie scratched. I landed upon using the number 4 underneath Dow Emirali. I am worried about the pace setup. She needs to run into something, but possibly La Dame, the number 7, could actually provide that pace for her here. So key around those two. $36 flat early pick 5 ticket, which I think is a good reflection of the current field as they'll be lining up and hoping reflective of the value as well. So let's start with this first race. I already said maiden claimer 16 to 12,500. Keith, we'll start with your top selection in here. I am the cash man. We have not seen this now 4-year-old since his one debut race in September of 2020 at Pugs, sprinting over 5.5. Same distance he's going to go here. Look, the work tab underneath looks like they've been gradually getting him back into business. He's been actually training at Belmont. I think they're trying to find an easy spot.
Yeah, I mean, plenty of works. I went back. There's a slew of works and a couple of really good ones along the way. You've got a horse that hasn't been seen, like you said, since September of 20. And they're not taking a drop all the way to the bottom. Original owner, previously trained by Juan Vasquez. So I'm not quite so sure from the connections, everything, but I kind of smell something like this horse is going to be live. We'll see. There's, speed is scratched out in the 6, Glorious Mahomes. I'm the cashman. Showed a little bit of foot. Some of these works are okay. Maybe this horse will be on the engine for Jose Baez.
Yeah, I feel like he's very much an unknown factor in here. I just really didn't know what to make of him. So I ended up going with the horse that, clearly exposed, unfortunately for him, Chauffeur, the number 2. This will be his 19th start. Had some trouble at the start in his last race. Wasn't part of the race at all. But 2 starts ago, that effort behind next that winner, Hair of the Dog, would be good enough to actually win this race, unless, of course, I'm the Cashman jumps up and does something, or Bucharest outruns the level that he's been placed at for Trainer Lacey. That does have the rail to jump from. So, yes, it's not an enticing reckon to go with a 19th time, maiden score. But when I look at his effort 2 starts back, that's what I'm keying around. I'm hoping he can turn up like that. The thing is, I feel like when I move away from these type of horses, I've been burned in the past because he does stand above this field.
We've seen a few of late, have a long losing streaks and then finally get it done, and then kind of sometimes pair it back up. But yeah, he did have an excuse last time when bounced around in that bigger field. Won't have to deal with so much clutter today. Bucharest, I'll throw the firster in there. 4-year-old, a little late to the races. Bottom side is all turf. When you look, the Labarski was all turf, but all spring, have been okay. Multiple dirt winning sibs in the family. So I'll take a shot. Doesn't have to be, a tremendous runner to get past this field on debut.
No, I agree with you there. Race number 2, we saw the early pick 4, and this time around it's your turn.
Here we
to
go.
Tell us what you're thinking.
And I was looking at your pick 5 ticket, and we're pretty close. I mean, and you're trying to dig a little bit of value, find some nuggets along the way. It was a little tough. $27, 125. they look like the 3 in race number 2. We shall see. 126 in the third Daily Planet offers a little bit of value. Stepping up, but I liked her debut. I thought it was good and very encouraging. Race 4 with the 125. One Nation, I think, is going to be a little bit lower. I might have that horse lined a little too high. Last 2 races dull, but third off that break is a good percentage play for Ness. It's the higher price of the Ness runners throw in there, and the 2 and the 7. You're right. The 5th race was decimated. The 2 heavy favorites are now out.
I key around them, and now all of a sudden,
who can you trust?
Everything.
Yeah, I would have liked to have whittled it down and gone all in the 5th, but I wasn't going to be an affordable ticket for most players. We'll go with Win Then Grin to come off the pace, and your speed factor with Lud Down, $27.
I like it there, $27
Okay.
flat, which seems reflective of what we've been offered throughout the day. Race number 2, claiming 12.5, to 10,000.
Yeah.
Mountain 16 around the 2-turn here. We use the exact same horses in our top 3.
There you go.
Let's start with our exacta play here, Contraflow
Okay.
on the rail, because we have a video spotlight of his last race where he ended up having to jump from the widest gate of them all.
Yeah.
We know that's not ideal. You can see
No.
the bend comes up, so much speed on his inside, tried to get into it, but was forced quite wide.
Yeah. I thought this was an interesting move because he didn't run great. Now, granted, it's 7 furlongs, but they stayed with him again in that 2 other than that condition, a tough condition. These are really good racehorses in here, a long list of solid runners. And Contraflow, who likes to kind of be right up with it, is hung out every step of the way. Kieran's done well with this horse off the claim, though. Claim for 16, a couple wins. I like the effort, though, that Contraflow continues to give, despite being 4 and 5 wide every step of the way. He's still trying. You see him running
Hasn't
up.
given up yet.
Yeah, don't.
No.
If you're just focused in on him, you're saying this horse is giving effort at least till mid-stretch and just finally a little bit of a fade. He may have to deal with Even Thunder. That's the kicker for me. He's going to be out right with the pace with a good break. Much needed move. Outside to inside, a little drop in class. 25% is Kieran with this kind of move.
Yeah, I think he's going to enjoy the draw much better, as well as the company that he gets to face today. We both use the number 2 Bellarmine Hall as our top selection, and in his last race at the same level, he was actually part of a 3-way pace early before dropping back. Now, Solomonic, who is lining up in here too, had a more gradual pace set up. I think he had a better trip.
Great.
Bellarmine Hall actually looked done, dropped back very, very far. Regrouped, kind of snuck up on the inside and started to fire again late.
Yeah. Will he ever get back to that mid-80s number that he ran against Y Paul Y, a really good racehorse? Not so sure. But the effort he gave last time, after battling early through pretty good internals, dropping back, looked hopelessly beaten, and then finding more, was encouraging. Second off the bench, what is he, 28% is Ness with this kind of a move. So, yeah, I think this horse will rally into it. Even Thunder looks like the main threat. If Contraflow is able to clear, I think he's gone. I think the 6 is going to work up into there and kind of provide a little bit of pace pressure.
I feel like Even Thunder, definitely because he has that higher draw, will want to come over and wants to be aggressive early to get tactical positioning. But yeah, Solomonic, we did just see him on that replay as well. His last 2 races have been on a different level. He seems a different horse, steeply moved forward. I think he's going to get that lovely stalking trip in here. And he kind of uses that. Whenever he gets that kind of beautiful trip set up, he delivers on it. So don't want to leave him out of this race either. That is number 5, Solomonic. Race number 3, maiden claim is 40 to 32,000 for the 3-year-old straight fillies. 1 turn, 1 mile the distance here. We have another video spotlight on the runner on the rail, which is just happy for trainer Jamie Ness. Jamie Rodriguez takes a ride. She was mustering a run around the bend, but she did kind of have to navigate a few horses in the process.
Yeah, I mean, she was up with it. Obviously, overcoming the rails a little tough. You saw a little steady in behind a quartet of runners as they battle, leaving the far turn. She stays on. She looks like the mile type now. I mean, when you kind of just watch her style. Horses that can survive what this jockey is doing right now, just really scrubbing and scrubbing and scrubbing and scrubbing and still giving effort. They're going to like a little bit more of a relaxed flow, not as frenetic of a pace. She carries effort to the wire. I thought it was very good. This was second time blinkers, first time Lasix, is able to work to the outside and keep going. Yeah, Lady Zeta came back to win. I think it's a lower 60 number up at Parks. Good effort there sprinting. So just happy back out. Ness Barn, doing well. I think she's going to be a player from the get-go.
Yeah, she did nothing wrong at all. Overcame that kind of trouble. Really started to gear up actually in those final strides there. So exactly the type of runner that probably is going to relish that small stretch out to the mile here. We both landed on what I'm hoping is a little bit of value. I know you have her at 6-1 morning line. I hope we get something like that. This will be her second start. She was second in her last race, maiden 25, behind two next out winners, including Middle Island, who ran third, who returned to win at the maiden 10 level with a 50 buyer. She seems to be working very, very sharply in the mornings for Milan Milosevic, and that higher draw, I think, only helps her here with that long run into the bend.
Absolutely. I tell you, her buyer was right there with these other favorites.
Yeah.
It's a barn, though. I mean, you're looking at the 25 up to 40, a barn that doesn't draw a ton of play usually, and you're into trainers like Ness and Gonzalez, Todd Beatty. So you should be able to get a little bit of value from Daily Planet, but the effort was good. I mean, maybe, but I can't take less than 7-2. I need something more than that. But the way she ran into a loose leader, wide, and just sustaining that run, she was dead game. And I like that she got a little bit of a break. I'm sure she was tired after that race. She's given time to regroup. The Lasix goes on. The workouts are good. Looking at the family, she should like some moisture in the racetrack as well. Editorial hasn't had a lot of runners. I think a lot of hope is 2 for 2 on an off track. And there was, I think, deeper in the family, I saw really off-track breeding throughout.
Perfect.
I think she's going to like the racetrack, and I think she's going to come back with a good effort.
Yeah, I believe so as well. Hence, we both have her on top. Race number 4, optional claimer starter allowance. Same distance here, that 1 turn mile. And we do have a video spotlight again on the number 1 horse, Sheriff Chip. We do have a bit of a theme going on here for trainer Dale Capuano. He sat in the garden spot behind the leaders, beautifully positioned, made quite a sharp move though. 3 wide on the home turn, actually 4 wide here, kind of like, 4 wide around the bend. But sharp doing it. That wasn't like taking a while. It looked like he was just passing them within a matter of 4 strides.
Yeah, he's going to be up with it today. Second off the claim, a big jump up in the Byers. You see the 77 on the off track. The horse in the inside crown Count Chris, he ran huge. It was a big effort there because it looked like Sheriff Chip was going to just draw away. And then it's just, but I like the way this horse finishes up. He's still going strong through the wire, gets a little help. Uncle Romy is out, looked like a horse that wanted to be to the front. So his main nemesis up front. I think he'll take a tracking spot off of Assembly Point. Assembly Point looks like he doesn't really want the wet track. So I think Sheriff Chip, that other stalking trip, was going to work. One Nation is the value play. I've got him on top. Do I love the horse? No, but if I've got to get value in a shorter field, he looks to be the horse that's going to cycle back to his best ever. Needs to be a little further off of it than what he was last time. But he's got races that certainly work on his page. Third off the break, again, is strong for Jamie Ness.
I was slightly disappointed about it last effort.
It was
the same kind of conditions he'll be facing there. We do have a good track instead of a sloppy track, but I was looking for a bit of a better performance, especially as they weren't actually going that fast, 24-4 for the opening quarter over a mile. They just weren't really doing that much. So I'm hoping that One Nation, like you said, cycles back upwards again, just has form on the go back to work. I am very much interested in the number 5 Artistic Reason here as well. Seems like the type to relish that long second wire finish line. Broke his maiden over here at course and distance, continues to roll in the final stages. I think he's going to get a decent sort of stalking trip again here.
Should, no doubt. That was a pretty strong field last time. Our lucky man, Tate, ran like an 82. He comes out of a good field. Horses that have run fast. So, yeah, that makes him a major player. Doesn't have a slew of speed. I think he's going to be kind of like One Nation. 4 or 5 out of it, leaving the far turn. Can he progress into it? But, it looks dangerous. Blinkers went on 2 races back. Topped last time. Basically, I think he's got to be in the exacta, but the value to me is the 2.
Yeah, no, I like that you got a value play on top there. We'll move on to race number 5 after this quick message. I was proud to support our friends at the Thoroughbred Aftercare Alliance, making sure that those aftercare operations are, following due process, following everything that needs to be done, looking after these thoroughbreds, and that your money that you support these charities with is well spent.
Absolutely.
Race number 5, nickel numbers a 3 lifetime for the fillies, and we were discussing this. This race ended up being wide open after the number 1 5e, number 1 6 Fearless Lassie scratch. All of a sudden, I started looking. Oh, okay, where did the horses go? Now, I do believe that these are my old picks. I did send a new one because the 1 and the 6 aren't running here. So I've got 7, 4, 2, 9 in here. So yeah, please check my updated picks. But race number 5, I ended up landing on the number 7, La Dame, because wondering if she's actually going to be able to make it to the front without too much effort from anyone else.
This is a race where, you'd like to have a ton of coverage. Also races in which I like horses that could make the lead and clear off, and let horses that usually don't like to go by others just give futile chase to the wire. La Dame did all the dirty work last time out off of a break. The Danny Deep Cuts, that was a horse coming in. For Rudy Rod, just a little bit of a fade. You see my short comment, willingly to the 8th pole. She can separate from this field. I think she goes a long way. The main closer,
Dow Emirali.
Dow Emirali, captivating girl, I think is going to be there as well. Yep.
Yeah, just no real pace anymore, though, for Dow Emirali, and I was a little bit worried about that, because otherwise I would have had her in front with those 2 speedsters. I actually had Dow Emirali keyed in 3rd before they both came out, landed on La Dame, like you said, possibly the front runner in this spot. As we move on to race number 6, nickel claimer in here, 6 furlongs the distance. Again, we have a video spotlight highlighting the 2 inside runners in here, My Sacred Place as well as Pascal Shunt. Now, My Sacred Place sat the perfect trip, saving ground, scooting through relatively inside, whereas Pascal Shunt, you can see part of that 3-way pace up front. Yeah,
could have been softened, no doubt. Pascal Shunt still looking for that elusive win at the 6 for a long distance. But yeah, I liked My Sacred Place turning back in distance this day. You got 11-1 with Forest Boys, Ricky Silliman. They've teamed up for some wins, no doubt, through the last few years. And this is just a perfect ride. She was able to sit off of that contested pace, 3 horses battling, and works a seam. It's a good effort, though. I like the way this horse finished. It went up inside of horses and went away at the wire. Back to a sprint works for me. I just wish I'd see a little bit more speed up front, but I had to wait a little bit going into the far turn. Was shuffled ever so slightly, but did lack lose a little bit of momentum, but really regrouped nicely and is very eager through the wire.
Yeah, very strong effort there. I have him in 3rd. I do give Pascal Shunt a little bit of an edge, hoping that with a more conservative ride, he can pass a few more horses and save some for that latter stage. As well, my picks in here in race number 6 are 7, 2, 1, 5. Do please have a good look at the email I send with all my selections, but no problems whatsoever. Let's look at you had the number 5 on top in here. I use him underneath in here. First off the claim for Ness, which automatically makes him super dangerous with that 38 win percentage strike rate. Yeah, and this is a horse that Ness knows. He had this horse before. Coming back into Ness's barn, this horse is 4 for 5 on a wet track. That's enough for me. The drop I'm not worried about with a barn that likes to attack. Yeah, no, I think he's very, very live in it. This is actually a wide open field. I landed on the number 7 on the outside, Championship Alley. Aside from a clunk or 2 back, he's been very, very strong in his last handful of race course appearances. Shows rating ability last time out, which gives him a chance here to get that similar kind of trip. Yeah, it's going to be hard to keep him from just on the lead or just off of it. It looks like Pascal Shunt goes, and this one just kind of sits outside Championship Alley. Maybe Rumpelstiltskin will come back and show some speed that he used to have, but the Championship Alley, just trying to get it done in open company. That's something he hasn't been able to do. That's true, but I think that his draw helps him ever so slightly with that sort of tactical positional speed that he has. Raise at number 7, Fillies and Mess, 4-year-old and up, $12.5 to $10,000, 6 furlongs the distance. We do have a stat here on your top play, the number 2, Devilish Affair. Now, it was a key race in the mud for both Devilish Affair and Avery Lynn, 2 starts back as well. Yeah, and I thought this horse ran well. Second off the break behind Marvella Nasty. Hung wide, a little move, the slightest of flying. This is a mare, you've got to time the rally just right, but we talked about it. Forest Boys is as good as anybody in doing that, but Vukovic, we don't give a lot of stats for Bobby Vukovic. Not a guy that runs a lot of horses, but look at the last 3 years. I found one. I dug one up.
4 for 6. How about this? 67% and 5 for 6 in the money with Dirt Sprints third off of a 60 to 180 day break. ROI 563. That's strong.
Very strong.
That is strong. And I tell you, the only thing here again, where's the speed coming from? I know Shakaboom's going to kind of go out there whistling. Maybe our Avery Lane can get on the attack and those two kind of converge on the turn. Mm-hmm. But Devilish Affair, I still think her races are fast enough where she can be positioned close enough by the top of the stretch to grind them down.
Yeah, you Shakaboom underneath. I actually have a bit of a price with our Avery Lynn. £5 come off with Gina Velo on top. She has enough speed to hold the rail and continue. We know she's going to move forward. Has to find that length and a quarter on Devilish Affair, but that isn't as much. I feel like it is doable, and it, like I said, it was such a key race on the off-going last time out. I feel like we're going to see something similar here.
Absolutely. Again. She may not have to work quite as hard against this group, but Shakaboom looks like the one. The target's going to be on her. Glowing Star looks like a drop, and kind of a perceived drop. It's not really a drop from that state bred, I don't think, to this open 12-5 for Ness. Will have to come from the back of the pack along with Joyful Noise.
Yeah, I didn't use Glowing Star because I was just wondering how sharp she's going to be with that sort of cut back. When I look back at that 6.5 move there, she wasn't really able to do anything at the time. So good price by underneath, though. Of course, she's coming in here fresh as well for trainer Jamie Ness. Final race on the card for today. Another nickel conditioned claimer here for the fillies and mess 4-year-old and up. 6 furlong the distance. Again, we have a video spotlight on the rail runner, Patient Lass, who was a little bit slow to start once again. It has started to become a little bit of a theme with her, but it's also the way she runs, though. She is a deep closer, and she kind of takes time to gather herself.
Exactly. She just kind of falls out of it and runs her own race, regardless, really, of what's going on up in front of her. So, you see Eloquent Lady here clear by 3 or 4 turning for home. Patient Lass, off the break, was laid off October to December, a couple months, and caught with that little bit of trouble, a little squeeze out of the break. But here she is in the free and the clear. She does close up about 5-6 lengths to the final furlong. She's got that race to move up off of. She's 7. I mean, the interest is it going to continue for her to run? I'm going to use her in the exact. The Gallinella, the 2-horse, my top selection, I think just might have a little bit more positional speed.
Yeah, Patient Lass, like I said, it just seems that now she's getting older. That's what she's started to do, kind of leave herself with so much to do. She was last entering that stretch. Love the way she made up ground, though. I have her on top, Gallinea in second. Dale with a 50% tag drop. Look, I had the 2 interchanged. I think I've been changing my mind a couple of times this morning here. Gallinea, of course, dealt with that 50% tag drop, is about 19%, 54% in the money. So move that he knows well, he does well. He had about 106 starters doing so, 20 winners. Is that kind of drop down going to freshen her back up? Of course, the last time we saw her in the winner's circle was 2 back-to-back efforts at the Claiming 16 as well as the allowance level, but that allowance was at Charleston, so perhaps a little bit less tough than some of the races you'd find here at that level.
Dale trying to pick things up, a little chilly of late, and he's been a mainstay here and a high percentage trainer all the way through. 1 for 18 in the last 45, 8 for 18 in the money. I think you're going to start seeing him back in the winner's circle sooner rather than
bound
later.
To return to that sort of higher consistency form that we expect of him here. So have him underneath. And Jeannie's Angel, we know that she's fast early. Do you think that 6 furlong might just be a slight challenge for her, won't it?
Could be. Yeah, she looked gone last time out and just kind of get wilted short and stride late, and may have to deal with Danny Deep Cups on the outside. I don't know what happened there last time, but expect that horse to be up close.
Yeah, looks to return to form again here as well. We both use her underneath. Those are the 8 races coming your way today. Have that Stronach 5 tomorrow as well. Do have a look at all the races from across the country involved in this weekly sequence because the payout is quite terrific if you get it right. Not an easy sequence, but as a handicapper, a great one to really dive into.
Last week we don't have this. We don't have the payouts and everything, but another. You looked at what the horses paid, and then you see the payout. You're like, how am I not putting more effort into handicapping and investing into that wager?
Oh, there you go, guys. Get involved. And, of course, we have 8 races coming your way, starting with first post here at 12:25. I'll be back this afternoon with Calais Francois as well. And we'll move on next to Dave Rodman with Scratches and Changes.
All righty. Good luck, everybody.